Good morning, everyone. So it's Monday the 20th, and it's kind of nice out here right now. The weather forecast doesn't have any clouds in the sky for the next 7 days, but they're predicting some 100 and better temperatures. And I think I'd rather have the clouds and some rain than I had the oven temperatures. But anyway, this is a Easter lily, a Bermuda lily, an Asian that my mother gave me years ago, probably somewhere around almost 30 years ago. And it has been in this old flower bed that these are live oak trees that have come up from the big one. And I cut it back fairly often, but it doesn't take long for them to sprout back up. Been getting a little bit done, but when the temperatures start getting in the mid-90s, which we've had several times this past week, I'm a little bit non-functional. I had unloaded my boxes here yesterday and reloaded them with 40 more that I had potted up, and it's going to be a while before those are of a size to ship. And little trees are doing pretty good. Been running the sprinklers out here pretty regular. And in the front, and that's what damaged those giant ass grasshoppers, locusts, or whatever you want to call them are. I caught him and pulled his little head off, or big head off. He was just munching away. He'd have probably ate the whole damn plant if I hadn't found him when I did. But temperatures are taking a toll on the horseradish. I haven't, like I say, don't know a great deal about the horseradish. I try to read and watch the videos and all that, but some days I can read and watch and can't tell you a damn thing after it goes off. These are the old bulbs on the turmeric, and they are just really busting the dirt. In about every pot there's something showing. The yaba mates are really doing well. I broke a limb down here the other day, and I have a couple in one of my rooting boxes. Whether they actually come up or not, I don't, or they've got new growth, but I can't tell, if they're rooting. So far I haven't seen any root. I took the top off of this curry and have it in the box rooting, and it still has some green and all. And this one has a flower head coming on it, so I'm real interested in watching and seeing about it. Have numbers of little fruits on the miracle fruit tree. My beetle leaf, I've got to figure something out, because that's like the mint and peppermint, spearmint and peppermint tray over there. The heat in here is too extreme, and it's really taking a toll on a number of the plants. The K-trees don't seem to be as affected as bad about it, and I don't know what'll become come this later in the week when we do get in the hundreds. I'm just watching and seeing. These are the ones that I had taken out of the humidity boxes outside yesterday, and be a couple of weeks before they're ready to ship. These are a week behind. I've been going through my rooting boxes over the weekends and pot up on Sunday, and so anyway, those in here have been out of the rooting boxes for a week now, and these 2 weeks, and are growing well. And so many. This tray here is all too big to ship, and a good many of those are starting to be too big. And the green malaise here is just a beautiful plant. And I got to get it cut back some more. I haven't taken many cuttings from my big tree. If you've watched some of the last year, if you watched any of my videos last year, I had an old toque sitting outside, and I got all kind of frogs laying eggs, and tadpoles eat mosquito larvae, and so far I've not seen. I just bought this pool a week or two ago, and there's no holes in the bottom of the pot. There's one in the side over here, and I think there's one on the other side. But anyway, I just put the pot down so it keep the pool stationary and it won't blow away if the water should get low or turn over or whatever. But I'm hoping it'll raise tree frogs and other frogs and whatever, and that the tadpoles will eat the mosquito larvae before they produce. And that's my idea anyway, just to get more frogs in to eat bugs. A natural solution to a problem that I frequently have down in this part of the country, mosquitoes. Getting some nice growth on these. These I've just potted up this spring, and they have just run up, some of them over 4 foot tall already. You may remember this rafat here was all over, was a real yeller and had lost a good many of its leaves. Well, it's greening up nice now, taking on some really good colors. This was what I really wanted to show. Was this is the moringa that I started with. I can't remember if it's 3 or 4 years that I've had it now, and have offered it up for sale just to pay for my cost of my pots and everything else. I use it. I buy powder and I buy the capsules, and I like moringa. I like the effect that it has on my whole body, and I haven't planted any in some time now, but I had planted this out here. These are the old stalks coming up, but this is where the cold killed it back to the dirt. But this is moringa. I think about every one of them has some moringa shoots coming up from the root. And this out here hasn't been watered or taken care of or anything else now, and I don't remember if I watered it last year or not. Poor old garden. Problem I've found about having the raised beds the way I did was you can't get in here and get it cleaned up very well. But this was, I had moringa. I did this bed with moringa, and I have seen, this is moringa coming up here, and anyway, I saw several of them that were coming back on this bed in the weeds. And like everything, like I said about up there, I haven't watered or done anything to it, and that's the elephant garlic that I have in here. Is coming up well and is producing, and won't be long before I try to take some of it up for use. those slugs, snails, whatever you want to call them right there, the only thing I can figure out is I hadn't ever saw those as a youngin'. I think I got those from Lowe's. But I had a little bit of moringa over there, and the elephant garlic here's about all that's in the garden other than weeds. I had sweet potatoes planted around and about, and they were really pretty. The Georgia Jets that I'd planted have a really nice flower on them. Look, they're like a morning glory, and but the rabbits love them, and the deers love them, and the deer and rabbits would come in the garden and eat them down, and kept eating on them, and till they, I think, have destroyed all of them. If there's any in the weeds, I haven't seen them in some time. And that was it, just a little video to start the week off. Everyone have a blessed day and a beautiful week.